It's such, yeah, it's a valid question. Let's have a seat. Sit and we look at it. Consider. First of all, what is addiction? A person with an addiction uses a substance or engages in a behavior for which the rewarding effects provide a compelling incentive to repeat the activity despite detrimental consequences. So, addiction may involve the use of substances such as alcohol, enhanced cocaine, or behaviors such as gambling. So, there is evidence that addictive behavior share key neurobiological features. They intensely involve brain pathways of reward and reinforcement, which involve the neurotransmitter. And in keeping with other highly motivated states, they lead to the pruning of synapses in the prefrontal cortex. This is the home of the brain's highest function, so that attention is highly focused on the cues related to the target substance or activity. So it is important to know that such brain changes are reversible after the substance use or behavior is discontinued. So both substance use disorders and gambling behaviors have an increased likelihood of being accompanied by mental health conditions such as depression, anxiety, or other pre-existing problems. Substance use or and gambling disorders not only engage the same brain mechanism, they respond to many of the same they respond to many of the same treatment approaches. So the approaches they always the same. Such substance use and gambling disorders are complex conditions that affect the reward, reinforcement, motivation, and memory systems of the brain. They are characterized by impaired control over usage, social impairments, and involving the disruption of everyday activities and relationships and carving. So, continuing use is typically harmful to relationships as well as to obligations at work or school. Another distinguishing feature of addiction is that individuals continue to pursue the activity despite the physical or psychological harm it incurs. Typically, one's tolerance to a substance increases as the body adapts to its presence. So, because addiction affects the brain's functions centered in the prefrontal cortex, individuals who develop an addiction may not be aware that their behavior is causing problems for themselves and others. Over time, pursuit of the pleasurable effects of the substance or behavior may dominate individuals' activities. So addiction have the capacity to reduce a sense of hopelessness and feelings of failure, as well as shame and guilt. But research documents that about all of this about the recovery is the rule rather than the exception. So there are many routines to recovery. Individuals can achieve improved physical, psychological, or social functioning on their own. Others, other benefits from the support from the community or peer-based networks, and still others opt for clinical-based recovery through the services of professionals. So the road to recovery is seldom straight. Relapse or recurrence of substance use is common, but definitely not the end of the road. For those who achieve remission of an addiction disorder for 5 years, researchers report the likelihood of recurrence is not greater than that among the general population. So the neuroscientists report that synaptic density uh, is gradually restored. So there is one thing I want you to understand first. I want you to know that we I want you to know that